Hello everyone, and welcome to the Little Blue Fly. Part 2 of the Fall Decorating Marathon has finally arrived. And you know, these marathons, they're quite a bit of work. I'm not used to this too much, but anyways, because all of you, I have the best subscribers, right? You all are just the best. I love you all so much. I thank you for helping the Little Blue Fly to grow and to get out there. We are doing phenomenal, okay? The Little Blue Fly is just really growing these days. And I just thank you all for taking the time, coming here and spending time with me as I share different decorating ideas with all of you and open up my home and a little bit of myself and my adventures, you know, all my little journeys and the things that I love to do. And please keep sharing the Little Blue Fly. Please keep giving it a thumbs up and leaving comments and share away. And let's continue to help others fall back in love with their homes again. So that being said, let's begin, shall we? So we're going to start things off. I took a little break in between the decorating and went to my favorite nursery, Merrifield Garden, and this is just one little area, and I mean one little area, and it's just filled with all the wonderful colors of fall. So I'm walking, it was a sunny day, and I'm walking through, and I just said, let me go ahead and record all of this beauty and share it with everyone that comes over to the Little Blue Fly for a visit. Okay, now we're going to get started right here in this corner in the living room. I'm going to try to repeat a little bit here so the majority of items that you see up in the bookshelf and here on the long radiator, I am going to do my best to keep all of them in place and just enhance them with the beauty of all the fall colors. And we will be working from the top shelf going all the way down. Now the mirror in the corner, that is in my Amazon storefront. They were sold out. I don't know if they're back in, but that can be purchased. And the lamp, I've had that for many years. And the hook here, that is from Mackenzie Childs. The candle stand, that was a find on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, so I placed up my fall wreath that I put together, and I've just been adding in little by little over the years, and it is just a round like a grapevine wreath, and I placed some green moss on it with different types of fall flowers from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and just added in the pumpkins from Hobby Lobby, and of course the berries, because those dark purple berries just really make everything just come alive. Now I thought to share this, I thought perfect. In my last video, I had some twig that I used to go around my candle stands. And I stated I purchased it from Merrifield Garden because I did, and it was during Christmas time. Well, when I went into Merrifield, they told me one of my subscribers went in there looking for twig. So see what I just did here? This twig actually came wrapped around a branch of floral, this green floral, and this can be purchased at Hobby Lobby right now. So on that one stem, you can actually get 2 twigs and do the same exact thing that was shared, how I just twisted it, pretty much just wrapped it in a circle and let it coil down over the candlestick. So like this, you know, how I just was wrapping it around. And this piece will work exactly the same as the other twig. So 2 off this branch, and then you can just use the greenery for whatever arrangement. I'm so glad I just found that I just came across this. So for whoever went there, you can get the twigs from that stem at Hobby Lobby. And as you see, I just hooked it around the wreath and just let the stem just wildly come down and added another at the bottom. Because it really does, as you can see how it's just reaching out, it really does offer a great depth when you work with twigs in any type of arrangement. As you can see, working with the moss gets a little bit messy, but no worries. It's worth every bit of it. So I will be cleaning this up and we will continue decorating. So I placed my basket. This was purchased from Pottery Barn some time back, and this is actually one of my quiet baskets. I will not be opening it today, but pretty much a quiet basket is something, you know, magazines or different types of puzzles or a good book, something you like to read goes inside your quiet basket or quiet box to enjoy. This charger that I am sharing now, actually, I believe it was a Home Goods purchase. I'm looking on the back for something, but I believe I did purchase these from Home Goods. Love the gold and the aged, the bronze colors that come out on this piece. Just placed it right on top of the basket. Again, was purchased from Pottery Barn. I believe they are discontinued, but it wouldn't hurt to look. I've had it for some time. And this is, it's a glass pumpkin that has like a mercury pumpkin. I paid $19.99. I've had this for a few years, and I believe maybe I purchased this at like a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's. Just placed it right on top of the charger. And I love playing with the colors of the golds and the bronze and all of the aging with the touches of black. And I love everything that is warm for sure. Okay, so we're going to start here up at the top shelf. And again, the goal is to keep all of these pieces on the shelf, just adding in the touches of fall colors. As you can see, this one was leaning up against a red candle. And the dye actually moved its way onto that candle. So I removed the white and added in the colors of fall. I mean, this is so much fun to do, not having to remove all of your decor and put all new pieces up. This is great right here. So these little like wheat picks came from Hobby Lobby. Now they do still have these. I did see these there when I went shopping some time back. It's been a moment since I've been inside of Hobby Lobby, but early on when all the fall items were out, they still had those. And this sweet little 3-tiered pumpkin was purchased from New River Pottery when I was living in North Carolina. But one could easily get 3 different pumpkins, 3 different sizes, and just stack them up. And I placed those over to the right. And I added a little bit of yellow, it's a little stem right here. I purchased this from, I think it was Minuteman Mini Mall, but these were in a primitive booth. So if you were to maybe look up primitive yellow flower stem, you might come across these. But it's the perfect touch. They blend in perfectly with anything that you add to them. And that's it for the top shelf. That is it. It is that simple. I couldn't be more thrilled. I just moved one of my books over, added in the pumpkin, and a little bit of florals to the left with some candles. Now it's time to go to the second shelf. Okay, so what I did here is I placed in one of my terracotta pots inside my little vessel here and just removed one of the garden balls and left one in there. Kept the clocks. These are vintage clocks that I get off of Etsy or eBay. I'm going to add in some loose potpourri. I love collecting clocks that come from Germany. So I just place them underneath the cloches with a little bit of moss in a terracotta pot. And I am going to add this potpourri right up on top of the green ball. And look at that. Perfect. Instant autumn, right? So again, it was just some loose potpourri. And because this shelf is looking a little bit like the old, it has the old world feel. I wanted to keep it, in the old world theme. So I'm using jute and yarn pumpkins. And I believe they were like Tuesday morning, I think, is where I purchased those. I've had those for a few years as well. And as you can see, it goes in very well with the old world theme, having the jute and the yarn. And that is it for that shelf. Now the prints, well, that's another story. I actually shared that in earlier videos, but they are by Home and Garden and they're called The Visitor. The one to the left is the little girl. And then down below, look who we have here on top of the stationery book. Oh, actually, it's a daily planner book. And his name is Stuart. He likes to look over all of the books, the library, keeping things in order. And as you can see, he's on top of all of my Charles Dickens books. And to the left and right behind the bookends. And then someone did ask if these could be used as corbels. And to be honest with you, I haven't even checked, but they probably could be. But they're aged and chippy and just perfect. And the yellow goes with the same yellow flowers up at top. And the bookends, they were actually purchased from Mulberry Lane in Modesto, California. I picked those up when we went back to California to pick up our items. And that's it for that shelf. And now we're coming down here to work, and I'm going to hide the cord, and I'm probably going to change things out inside my silver vessel I have here, and my cloche as well. Okay, so right now we're going to be going back and forth because right now I'm on my knees doing, trying to do this arrangement. And I don't know about you out there, but me, it seems like the past couple years, my knees are, I don't know, they're getting bony or something. And so when I get on my knees on the floor, it's like these bones that are sticking out and ow, it hurts. Doesn't feel very good. Okay, so I have things, going. We're speeding things up a bit here for time. But I will be using different dry florals and moss. And again, the yellow flowers. I'm pulling them from the shelves up at top. Some hydrangeas from Michael's. The green leaf came from Merrifield Garden. So we have faux and the naturals that we will be blending together. So here, the two faux, I actually make sure to peel back the branches and just really work them in with each other because you want them to mingle. Flowers love to mingle with one another. I'm going to open up an area in the moss, tuck it in and spread it out a bit and let it just cascade over the side. Next, I will be adding in these hydrangeas. Love the warm orange in these. They were purchased from Michael's. They had other flowers, but I removed them. I was only interested in the hydrangea part. Okay, so as you can see, we're back up on the top shelf. I went and got a chair because those bones in my knees, they just couldn't take that floor any longer. Pulling up the moss. And now I will be placing in this pumpkin. It's like a candied pumpkin. I wish I could remember where. There's actually two of them. This one has a little bit of glitter on it. And I think I purchased these from Steinmart. I could be wrong. I don't know. But anyhow, I will be adding in this one pumpkin into the silver vessel. Just gives a very soft touch over to the side of the florals. Now watch this transformation. These little pretties, they will change everything. And you can see some of the foam is showing. And no worries. You can do this many different ways. You can add, some of you have even told me this, that you add fingernail polish on your berries. Excuse me, that's pretty genius. I use wax. It's an antique wax. This can be purchased from Michael's. Sometimes it's in the store, all the time online. And I also like to use a furniture marking pin as well, but I didn't know where that was at. I'm just going to use the little brush. And then I just paint right over the foam portion of all of the berries. I'm just funny that way. When I put together a floral arrangement, don't let no broken foam berry show, because I just really feel like it pulls down, and it's just me, it's my personal opinion. It just really pulls down the quality of the floral arrangement if you're just seeing these broken foam berries. I just had to pull that one off because that one there was no coming back on that one. That was just a little bit too broken. And then after I get this antiquing glaze on here, or the wax, I just use a paper towel and I dab it off and it blends in perfectly with the berries. So again, fingernail polish, furniture marking pin, or this wax. Okay, so here we are back at the bottom again, because I just felt like I couldn't get a good enough view in the camera being up on the shelf. Time for transformation. As soon as these berries are added in with these gorgeous fall colors, the arrangement truly comes to life. Hobby Lobby. I didn't see them this year though, so I do not know, because again, it's been a moment since I've been inside of Hobby Lobby this season. Here's other berries. They were purchased from New River Pottery when I was in North Carolina. And I just don't know if I want it at the bottom or the top. But I did decide up at top because I did not want to cover up too much of the silver. See, that has to get fixed because it's doing the same thing. It's covering up too much of the silver. So you'll see. I will be changing that and placing it up. And having the lighter berry on top of the darker, it's just, it's pretty delicious, I must say. And then adding in all of the dry floral around the faux, again, brings life to the arrangement. So all these dry floral pieces, I saved them. I'm going to tuck in those little faux berries there. So I save my dry floral and use that, try to use it year after year. I find it at Home Goods, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Marshall's. And I like this eucalyptus because it's kind of, it's wispy, it's fun. Gives that whimsy feel. And you want your arrangement to not look so uniform. You want it to be wild and free and have its own character because that's the way it is out in nature. Now to place the moss in different areas in the arrangement. And then this piece is finished. Okay, so these pumpkins, I'm not sure if I shared these with all of you yet, but this is a garland, and these are galvanized pumpkins. Many of you like to decorate with the galvanized. I like to make it warm. And so what I do is I use, well, this is a different type of acrylic paint. It's a metallic acrylic paint, antique gold. This, I believe, was purchased from Walmart as well. And I am just going to place coats on top of my pumpkins. I could use a liquid leaf, but I didn't want that strong scent, so we will just work with this paint today, so I don't have to go outside. And we will be revisiting that in just a bit. So this is my cloche by Mud Pie. It's hard to come by these cloches. I guess they sold them quite a few years ago, but for whatever reason, Merrifield Garden had one of these, and I quickly snagged it up because of the doorknob that's on top of this glass cloche, and it's a different shape. It's an oval. It's not a round. And I filled it with an old clock face and some potpourri and a willow ball. Placed another pumpkin inside of one of my clay pots. And now to cover up the cord, we will be placing this basket right back where it was. This ribbon, this is a metal ribbon. This can be purchased at Hobby Lobby in the area where the wedding supplies are at. It is a spool of metal ribbon. I painted it with my antique gold. And then with my glaze that I get from Michael's, I just put that on and dab it with a napkin, and you have aged ribbon. So here I have wild, wispy green stems, different type of dried florals. And now I will just be adding in some fall colors. I can keep these here. Now, as you can see, purples go very well with fall. You know, blues, the bluish purple, they work well. Every color just doesn't have to be the yellow and the orange and the red and the greens and the creams. We can keep that color wheel with all the other colors flowing in. Okay, so the red floral that is inside the basket, these are orange. I purchased those from Merrifield Garden. Sorry, I had to move them off the screen a little bit. There's glue pieces. And these were made from like a felt. And we're going to go ahead and add them inside the arrangement, because here we go, the faux with the dried. So it just gave it that extra added touch. And now I will be adding in some more dried stems. I wanted to warm the arrangement up a little bit because all of these colors were pretty vivid. So I really wanted to tone things down, and that's why I added the brown dried florals. The little glass cloche, actually, no, it's a tea light holder. That was just a recent thrifted find. Here we go. I have no idea where this originally came from. I just know I recently thrifted it, and I'm in love with this piece because I know when I put a candle in, especially during the evening, the glow is just going to be fantastic. So you just put the tea light down at the bottom, and this just slides in. Perfect piece inside this arrangement. So I feel like something needs to be underneath that, I guess it's a gourd. I'm going to call it a tea light gourd. I just don't like that it's just sort of just sitting there. So we're going to add one of my favorite things I love to do. And it's going to bring in some beautiful color as well. And this is one of my magazines. I love looking through this magazine because it gives the touches, of course, you know, the Victorian. I'm not real strong into Victorian. However, I do use some of the silvers, and as you can see, I've had this for a while, October 2018, but just a wonderful old world feel inside this magazine. Okay, so I switched things over here to the mantle, and this big television that's just hello right here in our faces, but it's whatever. Okay, I pretty much cried when I lost my mantle to my television, but I didn't have a choice. We are truly in a cottage. I do not have a family room and a living room. I just have this small cottage living room. There was really no other place to put our television but right here. So it is what it is. And here in the near future, I will be placing a very ornate frame around the television. Down here, there's another issue. So this fireplace, we actually had someone come out, paid a hefty bill, $5,000, to do quite a bit of work inside our chimney. And the airflow, it's not all that great. And we can't put on any more than 2 logs at a time. Otherwise, the smoke comes back in. And that really doesn't work because I have bronchitis. My daughter has asthma. So we've been going back and forth. Do we want a wood burning stove because that would get rid of the problem? Or do we want to go electric? So we were really set on electric for some time. But the way, everything's going with the prices, and we are definitely going wood burning. And so a stove will be, I have to find the right one. It has to have the right look, right style. So we're now on the hunt for a wood burning stove now that we finally made up our minds. Pretty much it was just me on what direction I truly wanted to go in. So we will start first up here on top of the mantle. I'm going to begin with this. It was originally $39.95. The business, they actually closed shop. I was very sad because I loved her decor shop, and I was able to pick this up for, I believe, it was $10 a piece, I believe. It has all the beautiful colors of fall, the berries, the pine cones. And what I really like about this garland is you just don't have, the plastic leaves that most of our garlands have, but you have this thicker type of material on some of the leaves inside of this garland. So it just gives it a nice look and feel. Here's one of them right there. Okay, so, and I mean this, I'm going to make this work. I'm only placing just one garland on top of my mantle. Just one. So we're going to see if I can hold true to this. I believe what I have in plan, in store, that I've had planned out is going to work and fill things in nicely. So all of the frames I am sharing with you all today came from Hobby Lobby. And then look at the image of these leather-bound books. One day I would love to have a library that has all these leather-bound books, with just a hint of dust on them. Just a hint inside my library. But when I look at images like these, it just, it takes my mind to places. This is definitely, this inspires me, images like this. So inside all of the frames, all of the images, I just do a Google search for whatever I'm looking for, old leather books, and then I have an iPhone, I click the images tab, and all these images come up, and I just take a snapshot and I go to Staples and have them photocopied on a heavy gloss paper. And of course our mantle needs this wonderful regal bird right on top for fall. So it's just taken me a moment because I have all of these frames back here behind the camera to share. Okay, the next one. This, I wanted to invite you all on my pumpkin path. Many of us during summer, we are just tired of the heat and we look forward to the evening cool breeze, and we have it here on my pumpkin path. The grass will just sway back and forth, the beautiful colors of fall on the tree with the perfectly lit lanterns. It's all about inspiration. And cooler days right now definitely inspires Bev. I am done with the heat. Here's another frame. Love all of the golds and just the age feel. And this print I believe this is this a calla lily? Do not bite my head off if I have the wrong name, but I believe it's a calla lily. But even that image was aged, and it just goes perfectly with the frame. And here we have some more leather-bound books. And again, all of the frames came from Hobby Lobby. Simple way to decorate, get some inspiring images, put them inside frames, whether they're new or vintage. And I placed all of them on top of the mantle, and I'm pleased because all of the rich, warm color that is coming off of these frames are really helping to give me that warmth that I desire to have when I decorate. I have a couple candlesticks I will be placing up here. These were purchased from the at-home store. I aged them. I don't remember if I just used wax or not, but the video, I believe it was last year's fall video where I transformed these. So I just placed them behind the frames and added just one of these berry branches from Merrifield Garden. I just wrapped it around the candlestick, and I'm going to add just one more right in the center of the mantle. And look, I said I'm only going to use one garland. I didn't say I wasn't going to use any flower picks. But anyways, I'm just using one. And this cream color will, help lighten things up because the garland is a little bit rich in color along with the frames. So right in the center, this one will go. I'm going to spread the branches apart and have one go to the left and right hand side of the center frame. Just like that. And no more will be placed up on this mantle. And soon we will have a gorgeous ornate frame going around our television. Now we have this mess. And I'm just like, ugh, what am I going to do? So what I decided to do, I was going to do one thing, but I changed my mind. Okay, I decided to add this welcome fall sign right up front of the screen. I could have taken the screen off if I wanted to, but I didn't want to because the black screen just it just gives more depth if I was just to put that welcome fall up front versus the black screen and the sign. The sign came from decorstills.com. Now down below, I placed a basket, and the garland I used up on the mantle, I just wrapped it around 2 candles that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. So up at the top of the mantle, you know, the frames, you have the rich, warm colors. So I sort of wanted to bring it down, and that's why I used the welcome fall sign, because you have all sorts of age, rusty goodness all over this sign. And I went ahead and purchased some gourds. But, okay, so I originally was going to have pumpkins coming out of my fireplace. I decided, oops, okay, that one dropped. We'll get another. Here we go. Okay, gourds and pumpkins are so expensive this year. What is going on? What? I'm going to go move to the hills and have my own gourd farm, okay? But anyhow, $1 a gourd. What is going on? Last year they were 50 cents. Now it's $1 for just one. So we'll see what I can make happen this season with the gourds and pumpkins. So I placed just a few gourds inside of the basket, and I will be adding in some loose potpourri pieces, and this is just a willow ball that has some moss in it. And we're going to, I don't like how that pumpkin is just sitting on the floor, so I will be adding something there to get it off, and that is this fabulous basket. It was a steal, $5 from Merrifield Gardens tent sale. Okay, we're going to take a little detour and we're going to go back to the pumpkins. So as you can see, the ones to the left and right, they have been aged with this glaze. I have several new individuals. Many of you have already seen this process, and many of you have not. We're going to go ahead and speed things up the best we can. And what I'm going to do is just put a nice layer of glaze all over the pumpkins. You don't have to be stingy with this glaze at all. The more you add, the more aged look you will have. So the pumpkins, I actually went over them 3 times with a glaze. And I know there's shortcuts. Many of you mention it, but I like to sit down and take a break from all the decorating, have my fan on me, and just relax for a moment and paint. So 3 coats of gold was placed on, and just 1 good coat of glaze over the gold. And just as a reminder, the pumpkins were purchased from Walmart. I believe they were $5.96, I think. I actually wish I would have purchased more of these because they're very fun to work with. And they're all held together by a jute string. And you could really use a larger brush, but I didn't feel like going down to the basement, so I just used what I had available upstairs. I'm going to use this napkin because, again, I didn't want to go down to the basement and get my blue one, so I'm using my kitchen towels. And then you just, okay, that one sort of is jumping around. You kind of don't want it to do that. But I'm just dabbing it. Never rub, because if you rub, you're going to see a streak, and you don't want that. So just dab it. A little one. It's not cooperating. This little one, it's a jumpy little thing. These larger ones, they're just a little bit more friendly. They just stay right in place. So I'm just taking off some of the glaze. And if you find you want more, then you just apply another layer and do the same process. And when they're dry, you can even add polyacrylic on them to help them have like a candied look. Here's the last one. And it's just this simple to change your pumpkins from a galvanized look This is just everything that's warm and wonderfully aged, and then the back galvanized. I love doing this technique. Okay, so back to the living room. Here I have, so this is perfect down here at the bottom with the candles and the baskets, because a lot of times we get down on our bellies and we will pull out the coloring books and we'll color. I love to color. Guys, I love to color. I love opening up a book of color Crayolas and smelling them. It takes me back to elementary school. Okay, here we have a throw. Perfect yellow, buttercream yellow color for fall. It's so soft. It's nice for when you want to take naps or just put something over your lap because you're getting chilly. Don't have those days yet, but they will be coming. And I decided I want to place it down on the seat. I didn't want to place it over the arm. And there's nothing that says that is the only way we need to do it. So I placed it down on the seat, and I'm adding in this pillow, pumpkin pillow. And as you can see, the yellows inside the pumpkins, which it has a slip. It is a slip cover, which is great because we have polyester going on inside this pillow, and I must get some feathers inside. But the yellow inside the pumpkins go perfectly with the throw. Look at that. Such a nice little cozy spot. My mother, I said it before, I'm going to say it again, she would have loved this area. Mother used to love to light candles. I will be working with the table in another video. But Mother loved candles lit during the evening. Okay, how many of you forgot? Here we go. So, what did Rumpelstiltskin teach Randall how to do? See, me and Rumpel, we're very, very good friends. We talk quite frequently about many different adventures. Well, when Randall came into the house and he heard he was a ribbon maker, he decided to teach him something very magical, something that he knew I would love. I love everything that is gold with aged goodness all over it. And Randall, he's so happy. Look, he looks so proud. Because he did something that made me truly happy. As long as Rumple continues to share with Randall things that are good, we're okay. So what is it? Are you ready to see? Are you ready to see what Rumple shared with Randall? How to make the perfect gold-aged pumpkins out of his plain jute string. Now, is that not just wonderfully magical? If you find yourself still here, please go ahead and give my video a thumbs up. And thank you all so much for your support.